Hi Aquarius, welcome back again. This is Rebecca Gabrielle. I'm so glad you are here on my YouTube channel, Living with Spice. We are going to have a love reading for you for the week of the 13th through to the 19th of April. Time is fluid, so it doesn't matter if you happen to see this after this time. I'm just going to say that it's not going to resonate for everybody, but if it does sort of fit your circumstances, fantastic. If it doesn't, please leave it. It doesn't have to be for you. Also, if you do enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I really appreciate it if you can subscribe to my channel. I'm really trying to grow my channel at the moment, and that way I can reach more and more people, and they can see these, more people can see these videos. All right, let's get started. Okay, Aquarius, here we are. We're going to do a love reading for you for the week of the 13th through to the 19th of April. And I'm just using the Romance Angel card deck here for you. So let's just see, Aquarius, what is going to come up in terms of love, relationships. It could be relationship with yourself or a significant person in your life, possibly even a new person. And if not, just relationships in general. What do we need to know? Thank you, Spirit. So we need two more cards. Beautiful. What does Aquarius need to know for this week coming up in terms of love and relationships? I wonder if it's going to come. All right, we're going to just pull two cards. All right, so we have so Aquarius, a little bit of insight as to what's going on in your world at the moment. I'm getting the sense that you're in a situation where you're really longing for connection. You're longing things to be better and more improved, and it hasn't really quite been working the way you'd like it to be. You're hopeful and you're really thinking about it a lot. It's actually taking a lot of energy. You're very focused on the love relationship, the idea of the love relationship that you want to have in your life. But it's almost to the point that you're giving it way too much energy. You are overthinking it. And, when we get into that space of really longing for something, we actually end up repelling what it is that we want, because we're telling the universe that we don't have what we need in our life. And, a sign of our soul growth is when we're able to eventually get to a place of being able to love ourselves so much that we don't have that need or that desire or that longing for someone else to fill that void. Yes, of course, we all love to be connected to that special person, but if you're in a place of really longing and desiring it, you are not filling your own cup first. And so Spirit is saying you're kind of keeping yourself stuck, and they refer to this as codependency, which means you are sort of reaching out externally to get your cup filled, basically, and you're spending a lot of emotional and mental energy thinking about this all the time, longing, waiting, wishing, wanting, and this keeps you in a holding pattern, Aquarius, that it's not great. And so, we can almost call it like an addiction or a form of obsession, in that it's taking all of your energy and all of your time. And, I'm sure you're not feeling terribly great about that either. So if we look at the face of this lady, she's sitting there longing and waiting, and she's not that happy really. And, when you're always waiting for something, oh goodness me, I know for myself, I can't stand waiting for anything. It's like, can we just get this over with? So Aquarius, this is what Spirit is giving us today, saying that, if you are in this place at the moment, it's just not going to be helpful to you. So be aware, is that you? Is that where you're at the moment? Because if it is, Spirit is advising you to let go. You really need to do your best to let that energy go. And it's like, don't think about the elephant in the room, don't think about the elephant in the room, don't think about the elephant in the room. Of course, all you're thinking about is the elephant in the room. So the best way to handle this is actually divert your attention elsewhere and go and do other things. Seek other things that you know fulfill you, that you love. So your attention is elsewhere and it's focused on other things and you're doing other things. And so that is the best way to counteract this very codependent energy, by not focusing on it, by switching your attention elsewhere. So, when we have the card letting go of control issues, that's the advice, is to let it go. Because the moment that you do and you start, enjoying other things in your life, because there is so much more to you, Aquarius, than just this thing or this person that you're wanting in your life. You are more than that. So give yourself a break, go on a holiday from your thinking and go do some other things for a while. Because as you do, you release that tight control and that energy, and the universe goes, oh, okay, she's relaxing now, or he's relaxing. And that is more of an inviting energy. When we are pushing for what we want, that's repel energy. So the advice here, Aquarius, is to let go, just relax, refocus, go do some other things for a while that fill your cup, and stop worrying about what if. Okay, because that's just keeping you stuck. So allow the situation to unfold naturally, because it will the moment you divert your attention. Give yourself time. Go find out what else you love to do in life. What a great thing to do. And it will relieve you and give you less pressure, less stress. You'll feel more peaceful. You'll sleep better. You'll manage your health and well-being a lot better. And so in many ways, Spirit is saying it is time to disconnect. Disconnect from this energy. Disconnect from this cycle of thought and behaviours and habits that you're in. Now, I've got the retreat card here, and in this reading, I'm going to say this is you need to take a break. You need to disconnect from this. So for some of you, I'm saying it's disconnect from this codependency issue that you have. Now, if you're in a situation where you're desiring someone because they're not in your life, then what I've just said applies. If you are already in a relationship, you need to stop controlling this other person. You need to stop micromanaging them. You need to stop expecting them to do, say, and be the way you want them to be. Because that's another aspect of codependency when we're in a current relationship. So, some, truth-telling needs to be had here for yourself. You need to acknowledge if you are in that pattern that you've got to stop, because it will not be good for your relationship, and it's certainly, we know it's not good for you. So you've just got to let go of the ideal outcome that you believe should be there. And as you release it with your partner, your special person, both of you will relax, and it'll be far easier for you to then reunite. So you've got to let go in order to reunite. The harder you hold on, the more the other person's going to want to pull to get away. I hope that makes sense. So you need to stop grabbing and trying to control the situation and coming from a place of fear, because codependency is about coming from a place of fear. So the moment you own it, acknowledge what you're doing, trust, redivert your attention, everybody's going to be relaxed. Nobody's going to feel that the other person is trying to control them, that there are no expectations. You really have to let go of expectations. And when you feel that you've done that, then it's the time to retreat. Get away. Allow yourself some time where you're out of the ordinary landscape, out of the ordinary routine. Now, we may not be able to do this in the time of coronavirus in terms of travel, but you can find other ways to retreat. Let's say metaphorically you retreat from the usual conversations that you have. You disconnect from that. You change the topic. You change the way you're constantly expecting the other person to be there or do something. Change is fantastic. It only requires a little bit of change to have a big impact. So if we're talking, if you can't actually travel anywhere, then that is another way of retreating. Or it may be that you both need to have your own corner for a while. You know, the man goes into the man cave and the woman goes and has her doona day or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. You just go and do your own thing and stop focusing on this one thing that you want to have or you want control over or you want the answers for. Let go of needing and wanting the answers and the outcome. Go to your own corner. Let the dust settle so the two of you can then come from a better place. Interesting. So that's going to be different for different people. This is a general read, so please take on board according to your circumstance. Right. I'm going to pull a couple of cards from the Mary Magdalene deck. So thank you, Spirit, for the advice around relationships at the moment. And the very good advice of being able to get some peace, inner peace, to let go so that things can come to a beautiful place of resolution and reconciliation. Things will always seem a lot brighter when we just relax and let go. So Spirit, what else can you advise Aquarius at this time to help Aquarius in this situation for love and relationships? Okay, wow. Beautiful. All right. So, if you heed the advice of Spirit, which I'm sure you want to, but I know that everything takes practice. It can be hard when we're habitually doing something all the time or thinking in a certain way. However, when you get there, Aquarius, this is what you can expect to have. Right? So this is a beautiful reunion, reconnection with your special person. You know, as a result of you letting go, you relax into a beautiful energy that's neutralized, it's equal, it's on the same grounding as each other. And this is the result. And how beautiful is that? You come together. There's obviously a beautiful intimacy. And, you know, we know that intimacy is not just the physical, it's the mental, it's the emotional and the spiritual. And so we've got to let go in order to receive. You know, we've got to stop coming from a place of fear and, you know, learn to fill our own cup and trust. And, you know, when we stop expecting from someone else and we allow that person the time and the space according to what they need, then the result is going to be so much easier for the two of you to come together. There's going to be an understanding and a wisdom that develops from being able to get away into a neutral space, neutral ground, to release the energy. And then this is what happens. It's not that difficult to understand, but sometimes difficult to put in practice. And as we do that, we let go of all of the confusion that we had before. So you had so many, your mind was so tied up in knots about stuff, whatever that stuff was for you. You know, what if this and what if that, and I'm never going to get this, and he's never that, she's never that. What am I going to do? Oh my goodness, so much mental energy. And it was exhausting you. And that's why Spirit wanted you to let this go. It's so not good for you. And the moment you let it go, all of that confusion disappears. It melts away into this, into harmony and synchronicity. It's such a beautiful energy. And as a result, you do experience ascension. Okay, so what this means is that you go to another level, Aquarius. You go to another level of connection, intimacy, coming from a higher place instead of this physical I must have in the physical realm. You release all of that, you come to a higher understanding and level of intimacy, which allows you to go even higher again in terms of your understanding and your wisdom and your ability to connect spiritually, you know, from a soul point of view. And it also invites the divine into the relationship. You know, when we are open, free and vulnerable as the lovers are, we invite even more spiritual power and what am I trying to say? Energy and essence into the relationship. And, you know, it's like we get this download and this connection where there are no words that are needed, but you're feeling it. You know, you're feeling that connection and you become one. And that's when Spirit steps in. When we become one, you know, Spirit steps into the equation, and that's how we feel that connection. It is not possible to remain connected just on the physical realm. That does not last, and we know that. The connection on the physical realm is for a short period of time. But when Spirit steps in and it becomes a connection and a transformation from a spiritual point of view, that's what lasts. And that's what gives you long-term happiness, long-term fulfillment and intimacy and understanding of your partner. And I'm going to put that over the top of confusion because that disappears, which is beautiful. That's amazing. How powerful is that? I'm hoping you're seeing the significance of this message, that this is so worth letting go in order to have this. Really beautiful. Very powerful indeed. All right. I am going to pull... I'm going to go back and pull some more cards from the Romance Angel deck, actually. That's what I'm feeling. So thank you, Spirit, for that beautiful guidance that Aquarius was just needing to know. So what else, Spirit, what other advice can you give Aquarius for this love reading? Oh, we have two. Oh. Love is in the air. We've got one more card to go. Oh, I love doing these readings, especially when we get to do the love readings. One more card. I'm speaking out there. All right. All right. So, Aquarius, you're going through such a beautiful transformation in terms of your understanding of what love is and this special person in your life. So, first of all, Spirit wants you to know you deserve love. Okay, so you have to know that this longing here is you saying to yourself that you don't deserve love and that you don't have love in your life, right? Spirit wants you to know that you so deserve love. You really do. And you've got to trust. You've got to know that. And when you truly know that when you allow yourself to redivert your attention to doing things in your life that fill your cup, that show you and demonstrate that you love yourself. So, you know, when we get that, when we understand that message, in your life you'll be demonstrating that when you are doing things for yourself. You'll know that you're worth loving. You know that you are lovable. When you are able to focus on yourself instead of what is external to you. Okay? And then part of this retreat phase and this releasing and letting go is going to require heart-to-heart conversations. You're on a learning journey here, Aquarius. You're on a learning journey, and so it's important to connect from the heart through honest, open conversations where you're both putting it on the table. This is not the time to be holding back, because we both sense, you know, when you're in a partnership, the two of you are going to sense when someone's holding back. And the moment that happens, you close the door and, you know, everybody sort of shuts down and you don't get as far as you need to get. So having heart-to-heart conversations, when you've released this, it's not possible to do it while you're still all tied up in your head and you're all in knots. It's not going to help having a heart-to-heart then, because you're going to end up in conflict. But the heart-to-heart conversations can happen once you are in a space of neutrality, you're relaxed, you've let go. You know, this is clearly letting go. And then conversations can happen. And then you can get to the real understanding of each other, because believe it or not, you know, this is wonderful, but at some point we still need to have words. We need to use our words to express to the other person more specifically what we need, what we're thinking, what we're feeling. So that's just as important as the physical connection, is to be able to discuss how we feel. And often the best discussions come after this, where you finally feel that there's trust and rapport through the bond that you have, and then you're in the space to be able to really be open to listen well and to hear your partner well, and to receive what needs to be received and to give what needs to be given. So doing that beforehand is probably not going to come out, it's probably not going to have a good result. But being able to reach this point after you've gone through a process of letting go and you're clearly both in good rapport with each other, that's when, it's a really good time for the heart-to-heart conversations. I'm so glad that this came out. And of course, then you're in a position to be able to really enjoy each other, which is what we call the honeymoon phase. This is a very romantic reading after all, Aquarius. This is beautiful. But you can see there is a process. We don't go from 0 to 20 in one go, do we? We've got to go through the process. It is a learning journey. It's a learning journey, just learning to love yourself, let alone to be able to do that with someone else. In any case, take on board what Spirit is offering to you today, and this is what the outcome will be. You'll have the opportunity to feel really in sync with your partner, and it'll be a blissful time together that you can experience. So that is your romance reading, your love reading for this week and beyond, Aquarius. I hope that is helpful and that you've enjoyed the reading. Please remember to subscribe to my channel. I'm sending you lots of love and wishing you a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.